You are in the story. You speak to the shadows and they reply. And instead of being on a screen, the story is all about you, and you are in it. This quote is from Pygmalion's Spectacles by Stanley G. Van Baum, which was written in 1935. The main character of the story tries out a pair of goggles made by a professor, which allows him to not only watch and hear a movie, but also taste, smell, and touch it. This could be considered the first fictional concept to what we call virtual reality today. Virtual and augmented reality applications have begun to enter our daily lives, fed by the developments of visual and audio technology in the field of art and engineering. As we all know, virtual reality is a nearly perfect tool for entertainment. You can watch people on the internet swing lightsabers to the beat of the music, explore the space with their friends in the Enterprise, boldly go where no man has gone before, or even play Tetris while donning a VR headset. Even though it's the most known, entertainment is not the only use of virtual reality. We can cite tourism, education, health, and advertising sectors as other examples in this field. My name is Çağla Kandemir, and I am a computer engineering student at Başkent University, currently in my 4th year. Today, I want to focus on virtual and augmented reality application in medical education. It will take around 7 to 10 minutes, and I would love to take your questions at the end of my presentation. My speech will consist of 3 parts. First, I'll briefly talk about what augmented and mixed reality is and give you examples of their applications. After that, I would like to give you some information on virtual reality and its applications. Lastly, I'll discuss augmented and virtual reality's potential place in medical education. Augmented and mixed reality are terms that we hear much less than virtual reality. It may not sound as exciting, but it's important to note that augmented and mixed reality applications are as effective when it comes to immersing the user into their purpose. These two are terms that tend to blend into each other, so I will do my best to explain them to you. Augmented reality is a technology that allows virtual elements to be reflected into real-life settings through various devices. The real world is still the focus, but it's enhanced with virtually generated graphics such as photos, models, and information. On the other hand, mixed reality's purpose is to bring physical and virtual elements together, and it creates a new environment where these elements can interact with each other. As an example for augmented reality, I would like to give Disney's AR coloring book application. This app allows the user to see the image they are coloring transform into a 3D model, which is generated in real time. For mixed reality, we can talk about Microsoft's HoloLens, designed for manufacturing, healthcare, and education. Using several optical and motion sensors and holographic processing, the HoloLens creates holograms only the user can see and interact with. Now that I have given you a rough explanation of augmented and mixed reality, I would like to do the same for virtual reality, which is the crown jewel of the day. Virtual reality is a technology that simulates a virtual environment. In other words, it makes you see your surroundings on a whole different setting. In this artificial environment you are placed in, you can do whatever the simulation allows you to do. Currently, this experience is usually provided through a VR headset. As I told you in the beginning of my presentation, VR is mostly known for its use in entertainment. There are tons of video games released for VR headsets, and you can even watch movies and concerts produced and recorded for VR. VR technologies are also used in the business sector, especially in digital marketing. Through VR, you can provide the full view of a product, give tours of an area or a building, or you can even use simulations to train your employees. That being said, I think I should also mention VR's place in education. VR can be used for a lot of training programs. As I mentioned, you can use it in the training of new employees on whatever their job will be. Apart from that, drivers, pilots, astronauts, and even athletes use this technology to get more experience before they are deployed to the field or to hone their skills. Mixed and virtual reality found its place even in the military, which is kind of a controversial topic. When Microsoft signed a contract stating that they will be supplying the US Army with HoloLens glasses for training purposes, some employees demanded for a cancellation and made it known that they did not sign up to develop weapons. Nevertheless, VR is used for various simulations in various countries. Medical field is another area that augmented and virtual reality are slowly taking root, which brings me to the last topic I want to talk about today. When we think about medical education, students will learn the theory and get their practice on models, dummies, or any organs and cadavers that have been donated for educational purposes. Later on, they are allowed to perform certain procedures on real patients while being observed by professionals. So, is there a problem with this approach? Well, medical personnel have been trained this way until now, so it should be okay, right? But it is an undeniable fact that dummies and models can't really prepare a student for real-life situations well enough. You can find studies that discuss whether newly graduated doctors are prepared for the field or not. This is exactly where we envision augmented and virtual reality coming in. Imagine being able to simulate an injection scenario, or CPR, or even a surgery in a virtual environment. For now, I'll be talking about the injection scenario. Normally, the medical personnel would learn of this procedure better with real patients, but as you can guess, this might cause complications for both the medical personnel and the patient. The patient could feel uncomfortable if they knew this procedure was being done by an inexperienced person, or the personnel might feel uncomfortable not being as experienced as they would like. Creating an educational simulation in which the student will be shown and given step-by-step instructions will help understand the procedure and its applications better. Students can learn how to perform before even meeting a real patient. It won't be the same as the real thing, but this could be the bridge between the educational process and the field. Here I would like to show you a demo we have made for injection procedure. And here are some examples on this. LAP Mentor VR for simulating laparoscopic surgery. And Immersive View for creating explorable 3D models from a patient's CT, CBCT, and MR data. We all know that medical students learn a lot about the human body, and as I mentioned, they mostly learn through models. Since there aren't many opportunities for these students to explore and understand how the human body works, augmented reality could support these said models in a way. If you remember the coloring book example, the same could be applied to the organs on a model, supplied with additional information. Or we could take this a step further and use mixed reality to make it a little more interactive. Here is an example on this, Human Anatomy Atlas, which allows the user to dissect models of various parts of the body. And here you can see that they advertised it for people who has limited access to a lab room with specimens or cadavers. This brings me to the end of my presentation. Of course, we won't be able to apply AR or VR to every procedure or scenario that is out there, and there will surely be instructors who oppose to the idea for several reasons. But we can't deny that integrating these technologies with medical education could bring a huge change. While AR could provide much more effective and easier learning opportunities, repeatable simulations through VR could provide more practice on certain procedures and scenarios without giving the student any fright about harming a patient. One way or another, practice makes perfect. Thank you for listening.